My name is Rich Shields, and I'm the assistant principal here at Canfield High School. We wish to extend a special welcome to the friends, family, and guests of the class of 2022. But before we begin, we ask for your cooperation on a few items. First, please save your applause for the end of the ceremony after all of the graduates have received their diplomas. It would be a shame if another graduate's name is not heard because of the noise. Next, we also ask that you do not come onto the field to take pictures during the ceremony. Platform dignitaries and faculty members will remain after the graduation ceremony for picture taking. Also, Canfield Local Schools adhere to a formal graduation ceremony, and we hope that all in attendance will contribute to the decorum and protocol that such a ceremony demands. There are a few facets regarding the ceremony that may be of interest. As far as the seating arrangements, cum laude students will be announced first by level and alphabetically. Students graduating with honors will wear different colored cords. Summa cum laude students graduating with highest honors will wear gold cords. Magna cum laude students graduating with high honors will wear red and black cords. Cum laude students graduating with honors will wear red and white cords. Please note in the program that many of our students are designated with having earned an honors diploma, National Honor Society selection, and/or PTA academic award. Although only locally awarded scholarships will be announced today, it is important to note that our graduates will receive over $5 million in scholarships this year. A special thank you goes out to Elliott's Garden Center for the wonderful display of greenery around our podium. In just a few minutes, the class of 2022 will enter the field. They're a very special class, and this is a very special day. Please give them the attention and respect that they deserve.
At this time, our graduates are going to march in. We would ask you to please rise as they march into pomp and circumstance. Thank you. You may be seated, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mike Moldovan, and I have the distinct honor and privilege to serve as principal of Canfield High School. On behalf of the Board of Education, Superintendent, Administration, and staff, I would like to welcome you to the graduation of the class of 2022. A few people at the front, I would like to acknowledge our Superintendent, Mr. Joseph Knoll, our Treasurer, Miss Prince, our Assistant Principal, Mr. Shields, and our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Vito. Board members here today, we have Mr. Atway, Mr. Wilkeson, and Mrs. Kluchar. At this time, I would also like to recognize our two senior class advisors who have spent an incredible amount of time this year organizing the senior fundraisers and events this year, along with the organization of this graduation ceremony. Please help me and give a round of applause to our senior class advisors, Candy Reed and Anthony Holben. I would also like to acknowledge our teachers and staff in attendance today. An integral part of the success of Canfield High School is a direct result of their efforts. Could you please give a loud round of applause for our teachers and staff? At this time, our senior class president, Mr. Nolan Williard, will now offer the invocation. Nolan?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, students, teachers, faculty, the Board of Education, family, and friends. Today, we celebrate a step forward into new places with new people and new experiences. We thank the Canfield Local School District, which has given us a safe place to learn and a strong foundation to build upon. We thank our teachers, who have so richly loved and cared for us and our families, who have stood by our side since the beginning and cheered us on to the finish line. We pray that the students present may all feel proud on this day and enjoy sharing their achievements with one another. May today be a memory that burns bright within each of us as we embark on life's great adventure.
Thank you, Nolan. You will notice Nolan is our class president. As tradition has it at Canfield High School, the class president is the last person of the class to receive their diploma. So that's why you will see him back there, even though he is an honor student. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Joseph Knoll, who will have a few words for us. Mr. Knoll.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Moldovan. Members of the school board, central office staff, parents, special guests, and obviously to our graduating seniors. It's my honor and privilege to welcome all of you as superintendent to our graduation ceremonies for the Canfield High School class of 2022. Our district theme this year has been Every Cardinal Counts. This theme has really served us well. As Rebecca Lord speaker shared the other night, you might have had a high school experience like no other class, and I would concur with that. We've needed every Cardinal on deck to help you persevere and make it to today. There's so many Cardinals to thank. I want to first start with our teachers. Back in the day when you were about yay big, those elementary teachers took you in, moved you on the middle school to high school, spending hours preparing lessons, teaching you up in the classroom, connecting and building relationships not only in the classroom but outside as coaches, mentors, and in clubs. And to our teachers, every Cardinal counts. The administrative team, support staff, our bus drivers, secretaries, lunch ladies, custodians, all of our educational aides also played a significant role getting you here today. A lot of their work goes behind the scenes that you don't see, but I have a lot of respect for all those individuals. Every cardinal counts. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk to the one group in front of me up there in the stands. Our parents, guardians, families, and friends, all of those folks that helped you get to where you're at today as well. All of you in the stands, every cardinal counts as well. And I thank you for supporting us over the years and supporting your young men and women here in front of me. So graduates, do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're going? I want to share a quick little story about Albert Einstein on his way on a train. The ticket taker came down the aisle, and Einstein looked into his pocket for his ticket. He looked over here, he looked in his coat pocket, looked in his pants, couldn't find it. Couldn't find the ticket. The ticket taker said, "Hey, don't worry, Dr. Einstein. We know you had your ticket. Forget about it, no worries. It's all good." So he takes off. The ticket taker comes back in about 15 minutes or so, and he looks over, and Dr. Einstein is on his hands and knees on the floor of the train, looking for his ticket. Again, the ticket taker said, "Hey, no worries, Doc. It's all good. I told you not to worry. You're fine. We trust you bought one. We know who you are." At that point, Einstein looked up and said, "Young man, I too know who I am. What I don't know is where I'm going." Now, Einstein, one of the brilliant minds of all time, smart guy, physics. I'm sure Mr. Buckley talked to you guys about that in physics class. But it's even more astounding to me that he was concerned about this. Knowing your destination is critical, and it's important. So I ask you again, do you know where you're going? Some of you today are going to say, "Yeah, Mr. No, I got it covered. I know where I'm going. I got a great plan," and that's awesome. Successful people know where they're going, and they have a plan to get there. Others of us on the floor here might say, "You know what? I'm not sure yet. I don't know." And that's okay. I was there back in just a few years ago. Okay, I was there. But here's the reality. Your Canfield education in this community has equipped you with all the tools you need, all the skills, all the talents for you to be successful. Now, I've told Mr. Montavon I'm a man of aphorisms, so I'm going to share one with you all today. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to know when you get there? Okay? Find your destination. Come up with a plan. And I'm going to warn you, be ready for the amazing accomplishments that are going to come your way once you do that. And young people, I want to leave you with one thing. Our theme this year is more than just words. It's a belief in my heart that I'll go to my grave with, and I believe it's in the hearts of all those people sitting up there as well. Every cardinal counts. Today, tomorrow, to eternity. Every cardinal counts. Congratulations, class of 2022. You are in the midst of one proud superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Knoll. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our featured speaker, Molly Johnson of the Mahoning County Court. Judge Molly Johnson is a 2001 graduate of Canfield High School. She was elected to the Mahoning County Court in 2018 as one of the youngest judges to be elected in state history. She was recognized on the floor of the Ohio State House for her work in naming the Canfield bridges after veterans and first responders, and helped bring the new large flagpole to the south end of the green in Canfield. Judge Johnson has argued in the Supreme Court of Ohio twice and has successfully implemented new case law in favor of small businesses. She serves on the Board of Trustees of the YMCA of Youngstown and has a passion for teaching inner-city students to swim. She is a two-time president of the Mahoning County Bar Association Foundation. She is the youngest judge to ever be appointed to 2 Ohio Supreme Court boards. She is fluent in Spanish. She, her son, and her dog, Stegosaurus, I had to throw that in there, live in Canfield. Please give a great Canfield welcome to our featured speaker, Judge Molly Johnson.
It's February of 2018. My entire family, my dad, my brother, 2 of my uncles, my mother, and I, all lawyers, by the way, are having lunch at Blue Wolf right down the road. And the Johnsons, just like every other lawyer in Mahoning County that day, had some serious business to discuss. The morning's headline read, "Local judge charged with multiple felonies will not seek re-election." We were all dying to know who would be the next person to fill that judge's seat. The conversation moved in a funny way that day, and I could tell that my family were biting their tongues a little bit, holding back from saying something out loud that they could not easily retract. But of course, they knew that if they told me to run for judge, I'd never do it. If they let me come up with the idea on my own, I'd probably do it. And if they told me I couldn't, I would definitely do it. They very wisely chose the second path. Either way, none of us knew that day at Blue Wolf that for the next 9 nail-biting months, I would be involved in a 6-way judicial race as the biggest underdog and the youngest candidate on the ballot. When I look back on those 9 months, there are certainly standout moments. But honestly, most of it went by in a blur of door knocking, handshakes, and parades. What I remember most about the entire experience is having to tune out so much noise that was being thrown my way. First, it came from the good old boys in the Bar Association and in politics. They told me to wait my turn. If there is a single phrase in the English language that really makes my brain bleed, it's wait your turn. Turns are not a real construct unless we're waiting in line at the grocery store. Wait your turn is nothing more than the older generation's attempt to control the younger generation. My response to wait your turn is always the same. If not me, who? And if not now, when? I must have uttered those phrases to myself hundreds of times during campaign season. I've said them to myself hundreds of times since then, too. Most often in response to comments like, wait your turn, because I said so. That's the way that we've always done it. You will find, as I have, that not everyone in life is going to share your ambitions, your goals, or your dreams. Your agenda will not match the rest of the world's. It is imperative that you learn how to tune out that noise and focus on what you want for your own life. That is true, by the way, regardless of the source of that noise. Teachers, parents, peers, the universe. There was internal noise that needed filtering out, too, during my campaign season. Every politician will tell you there's more than just a little bit of fear involved in running for office. Some of those fears are easy to articulate. Fear of public speaking, fear of asking for money, fear of missing something important at home or at work while you're on the campaign trail, fear of putting your own hard-earned money into a campaign that you might ultimately lose. But I find that for most politicians, the biggest fear is what other people will think of them if they lose. Most, if not all, of the foregoing fears were in my mind at Blue Wolf that day. But I remembered a quote that I love. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. I also remembered the phrase that probably makes my son's ears bleed at this point because I say it so often. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is being afraid and doing the thing anyway. That is to say, you cannot be courageous without first being afraid. At that point, the question became, how could I act courageously in the face of so much adversity? To sum it up, I'm a novice politician, the youngest candidate on the ballot by decades to all but one of my opponents. I'm relatively unknown at a local level because my law practice was mostly outside of Mahoning County. I'm a full-time civil litigator with a full schedule of court appointments and client obligations. And I'm also a recently divorced single mother to a first grader. In that moment, I was able to do what I have learned is the most important thing in life. I filtered out the noise and the fear, and I took a step. I've learned that even a fraction of a step, a fraction of any action, is more valuable than 1 million ideas. So, with a lot of help from friends and family, I started raising money. I started knocking on doors, walking in parades, shaking hands. And I did so unrelentingly for 9 months. I know that it was the ability to filter out the noise from the universe, from society, from my fear, and take one small step after another that led me to victory as one of the youngest judges in the history of the state of Ohio. There are a few lessons I've learned from being the youngest person in the room for most of my adult life. First, being underestimated is a wonderful place to be. I am constantly underestimated for my youth, for my gender, sometimes even for my kindness. I've found, as I hope you will too, that very little in life is so sweet as proving someone wrong who underestimated you. The second thing that I've learned is that society's dreams for me will never perfectly align with my own. How many of you feel the same way? How many of you feel those pressures from society without necessarily knowing what you want to do with the rest of your lives? Trust me, my parents would love nothing more than for me to stay as a part-time judge and a part-time lawyer at our family firm. My dreams are bigger than that. That's uncomfortable for all of us. But you know what? That's okay. Everything I've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. The trick is to filter out their opinions in a very loving and respectful way, taking one step at a time while I focus on my own path. That said, for every person you find who doesn't understand your dreams, if you look hard enough, you should be able to find someone who does. I've had a million of such people, and my parents included, by the way. 3 of those people, believe it or not, still teach at Canfield High School. Mr. Madison, Mr. Reel, and Mr. Pavlansky all helped inspire me to be the greatest version of myself. More recently, Principal Moldovan heard me speaking and offered me an opportunity to come and speak today to all of you, helping me achieve one of my dreams, speaking at my own high school's commencement. But my number one fan will always be my son, who never complains about attending my speeches, dressing in a full suit and tie, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go do morning show interviews with me, and generally hanging out at the courthouse. This all started when he was 6 years old. So thank you, small fry. The third lesson I've learned is that I refuse to let society's expectations of me define who I am. Whether that's encapsulated in wait your turn rhetoric, gender roles, or gossip, I am who I say that I am. The sum of all of my decisions and actions, fully responsible for the choices that I have made, imperfectly and wonderfully made. I've learned to own up to my mistakes honestly and quickly. I've learned to ask for help when I need it. I hope to never stop learning and growing. I found that the best way to accomplish my goals is to not dwell on the how. Instead, one small step is more valuable than a million ideas. The reality is I've learned to buckle down and get to work. My hope for all of you is that you learn these things more quickly than I did. I hope that you can learn to filter out the noise from society, parents, peers, and the universe, and be even younger in the rooms of change than I was. I promise you, I will never tell you to wait your turn. I'll leave you today with this. If not you, who? And if not now, when? The choice is yours.
Thank you very much, Judge Johnson, for those inspiring words. At this time now, we will have our two student speakers give their address at commencement. First, Nicole DeFabio.
At age 15, Eugenie Da Silva graduated with a bachelor's degree in intelligence analysis from Harvard University. When I was 15, I was crying on the floor of our school's bathroom because I got a C in biology. Yep, I got a C. And it was a pretty pathetic sight, actually, and I can only imagine what the girl in the stall next to me was thinking. But in the midst of tears swelling my eyes and mascara running down my face, I can remember my mom asking me one thing over the phone. Did you try your best? Now, I'm not gonna pull a corny Full House ending and tell you that this was some magic fix to my problem. I had still gotten a bad grade. I was furious with myself, but I had been reminded of all of the work I had put into that class, and it was something I hadn't quite realized before. While I am horrific at science, I can remember days before tests studying long hours into the night with my mom, practically turning my notes into a sea of neon highlighter with how many times I'd gone over them to just understand something. And I still never did well on one test. I was heartbroken over breaking my perfect honor roll 4.0 high-achieving student track record. But from that day on, I had realized that the value of an education is not based solely on how well we are at performing a certain skill or an ability to retain information about a subject that we'll probably never go into. It's about broadening our horizons and trying our best to do what we can with what we have. Too often do I hear students complaining about getting a 94% instead of a 100%, or even worse, too ashamed to admit to the fact that they actually studied for a subject they aren't magically gifted at. Nobody is good at every single subject. Nobody perfectly understands every concept in the blink of an eye. We aren't meant to be. It's the reason we're able to be such a diverse group of people and excel in specific areas and truly find what drives us in life. We, as humans, can't ace every test or even do halfway decent on every test. And there is more to life than tests and grades and how others view us based on our grades. Life is about learning new things, expanding our minds, and trying our best to excel as best as we can to our abilities, not to push ourselves to the limits of perfection. As long as we can work our hardest and take pride in the fact that we tried our best, there's nothing else we can do. What we can take from a class isn't a grade, or even the material itself, but how it shaped us to face the challenges we'll meet again in adulthood. I wasn't good at biology. I didn't make summa cum laude. I barely somehow even made Magna. And instead of beating myself up for not being a prodigy like Eugenie De Silva, I can take pride in the fact that I worked as hard as I could to get here, and each and every one of us can as well. At age 26, Orson Welles wrote, directed, and starred in Citizen Kane, or what is known to be the greatest film ever made. When I'm 26, I'll probably be sitting on my floor eating noodles and watching Malcolm in the Middle reruns. And as long as I've done all I can to get there, I'm happy with just that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. That was wonderful, wonderful speech. Our next speaker is Catherine Esper. Catherine, come on up.
Before I start my speech, I just want to say, me and Nicole used to trick or treat together, and we had a lemonade stand together. So it's pretty monumental that we're both speaking at commencement. I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Okay. Superintendent Knoll, the Canfield School Board, Mr. Moldovan, Mr. Shields, and of course, fellow graduates. Thank you. It is an absolute honor to be speaking with you today. I used to give speeches to myself in the mirror as a little girl, pretending that I was talking to hundreds of people, so this is really fulfilling one of my childhood dreams. I thought about the best possible way to approach this speech. I thought, I can try and be funny and crack a joke about how I've never done my homework, but even still, I'm standing here today. For the record, I did do my homework. Or I could go all philosophical on you and spit out a bunch of life lessons, even though I'm only 18 and I haven't even left Canfield, Ohio. But from my time here at Canfield High School, no doubt did I learn a few things. There are two things I want to highlight in this speech today: the importance of failure and the growing necessity for our contributions to the world. I don't know if anyone has ever said this to you before, but we will all fail sometime in our lives, no matter who you are, the super smart kid with a 35 ACT or the kid who's just trying to get his diploma. It's impossible to live a life without failure unless you have lived life so cautiously that you might as well not have lived life at all. You will never truly know yourself until you are tested by adversity. Failure chisels us, strips down our egos, and shapes us. Life is difficult and complicated beyond anyone's control, but the humility to understand this will allow you to survive it. When we fail, understand the mistake and get up with this newfound knowledge. The resilience that we have learned in the past 2 years will help us do this. One of my all-time favorite quotes is from the movie Rocky Balboa. Now, I watched this movie at the age of 3, and granted, that is questionable, but this quote is applicable, and I'm going to share it. Rocky says, "The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done." It is more important than ever to fail mindfully and keep moving forward. Secondly, it is becoming increasingly apparent that we need new voices and ideas in the world. I'm talking about the spheres of medicine, politics, government, business, and the like. But if you take anything away from this speech today, remember that advancements cannot be made if we are not ready to share our verses, voices, make firm our beliefs, and stand out from the accepted norm. Granted, this is no easy task. Many forces are ready to knock us down and scatter us about, prepared to leave us defeated and lost. But the resilience we have learned can aid us in the right direction. When we encounter obstacles, and believe me, we will, we must find our voice and stand firm. There is no time other than now when it is necessary for us to use our voices. We are gifted with more resources than our ancestors could ever imagine. It is now time to use those resources to truly transcend generations to come. Thank you, Canfield High School, and congratulations to all of the graduates.
I'd like to thank both speakers. Really inspiring words. You can see how great these kids are, and these are just two of them, but we have a lot of them the same way. I told you that it's been my privilege to be at Canfield High School for a lot of years, and one of the privileges is to work with great people, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Shields, who's going to announce our local scholarships. This man works tirelessly. He's a wonderful educator, he's a wonderful principal, and he's done a great job. Can you give him a round of applause for me, please? Mr. Shields will now present our local scholarships. We ask the recipients to rise, remain standing till all have been introduced. We would like to thank all of the groups who provided the local scholarships to help further the education of our graduates. Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. Moldovan. I will give you that $20 now. Thank you. I have the honor and privilege to share our scholarship recipients with you. Today we give nearly 50 local area scholarships totaling nearly $50,000. In addition, like I mentioned before, our Canfield seniors have been offered millions of dollars in scholarships and will be utilizing over $5 million in awards in colleges this fall. Scholarship recipients, when I call your name, please rise and stay standing until all of them have been called. I'll announce the scholarship recipient, the scholarship, and then the amount. Madison Angelo, Patty Elberth Memorial Nursing Scholarship, $2,000. Trey Angelo, Larry Davis Memorial Scholarship, $1,000. Lena Atway, John A. Cafaro Memorial Scholarship Grant, $3,000. Isabella Bellino, Nicole Judy Kerr Memorial Nursing Scholarship, $1,000. Laura Breedlove, Canfield PTA Scholarship, $1,000. And Rotary Club of Canfield Dante Zambrini Scholarship, $1,000. Michaela Brown, Run for Caitlin Scholarship, $500. Michael Crawford, Rotary Club of Canfield Harold Reed Scholarship, $2,000. Scott Crawford, Scholarship in memory of James and Coralie Senefani, $2,000. Carly Dapolito, Oddfellows Lodge, $2,000. And Canfield PTA Scholarship, $1,000. Gianna DeLucia, Ken Real Leadership Scholarship, $500. Catherine Esper, Barbara Huberty Outstanding English Student Scholarship, $500. Joshua Farley, Canfield PTA Scholarship, $1,000. And Junior Women's League of Canfield Nancy Dove Character Award, $1,000. Dominic Files, Canfield Lions Club, $500. Amelia Francisco, Ken Real Leadership Scholarship, $500. Allison Gonda, Junior Women's League of Canfield Fall Market Scholarship, $1,000. John A. Cafaro Memorial Scholarship Grant, $2,000. Joshua Greenbaum, Junior Women's League of Canfield Fall Market Scholarship, $1,000. Sarah Grohofsky, Martha Zarlenga Scholarship sponsored by Canfield Education Association, $500. John Hano, Rotary of Club Canfield Scholarship, $2,000, and Pamela Harina Memorial Band Scholarship, $750. Riley Hively, Run for Caitlin Scholarship, $500. Ian Hall, Ken Bailey Memorial Wrestling Scholarship, $1,000. Hope Karish, Scholarship in memory of James and Coralie Senafani, $2,000. Bridget Kelly, Canfield PTA Scholarship, $1,000. And David Ogilvie, Outstanding Math Student Scholarship, $500. Riley Kostelik, Youngstown Charter Chapter, American Business Women's Association, $500. Olivia Leskavec, Canfield Lions Club, $500. Gwendolyn Lolakis, Scholarship in memory of James and Coralie Senafani, $2,000. Riley Manley, Canfield Morning Basketball Scholarship, $500. Julia McGowan, Red Tree Investment Group, $250. Anthony Moranto, Canfield PTA Scholarship, $1,000, and Run for Caitlin Scholarship, $1,000. Jacqueline Palusak, J.L. Francis Scholarship, $1,000, and Franklin B. Walter Award, $500. Alexis Pompanio, Kenneth Reel Scholarship sponsored by Canfield Education Association, $500. Rotary Club of Canfield, Al Coulson Interact Scholarship, $2,000. Alexandra Quirk, Canfield Athletic Boosters Dick Weiss Scholarship, $1,000. Luke Roman, Canfield Lions Club, $500. Ashley Scalzo, Rotary Club of Canfield Bill K Scholarship, $1,000. Matthew Scolari, Canfield Athletic Boosters Dick Weiss Scholarship, $1,000. Harry Slavin, Mr. and Mrs. Michael Rigo Scholarship, $500. Jacob Wilkeson, Rotary Club of Canfield Scholarship, Service Above Self, $2,000. And finally, Emily Wilson, Outstanding Business Student, $250. Ladies and gentlemen, these graduates received over $50,000 in local scholarships. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, platform guests, parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, and faculty, it is with extreme pleasure that I present to you this outstanding graduating class of 2022. This class consists of outstanding scholars, athletes, actors, musicians, artists, and the list goes on. Our graduates will attend prestigious colleges, universities across the United States. School board members, the young people sitting before you have successfully completed the required course of study and other requirements of the Canfield Board of Education and the Ohio State Board of Education, and at this time, they may be awarded their diplomas. May I please have the first rows rise and move into position. Zachary Abraham Ahmed. Summa cum laude.
Madison Jane Angelo, summa cum laude, outstanding social studies student.
Christopher Todd Altier, summa cum laude.
Ibrahim Barakat, summa cum laude.
Ryan Timothy Bennett, summa cum laude.
John Raymond Burnett III, summa cum laude.
Dante Louis Biondillo, summa cum laude.
Joshua Charles Farley, summa cum laude, outstanding journalism and speech and debate student. My mistake. Isabella Marie Bursack, summa cum laude. I apologize, Isabella.
Emma Dodig Drahotsky, summa cum laude, outstanding science student.
Josh Charles Farley, summa cum laude, outstanding journalism and speech and debate student.
Amelia Ray Francisco, summa cum laude.
Jack Bryce Hamilton, summa cum laude.
John Michael Hano, summa cum laude, outstanding instrumental music student.
Bayan Yazan Jadala, summa cum laude.
Bridget Catherine Kelly, summa cum laude, outstanding math and Italian student.
Lily Ann Rose Lacombe, summa cum laude.
Riley June Manley, summa cum laude.
Elena Grace Martin, summa cum laude.
Anthony James Moranto, summa cum laude.
Julia Danielle McGowan, summa cum laude.
Cameron Russell Morrison, summa cum laude.
Julia Grace Mosier, summa cum laude.
Jacqueline Ann Palusak, summa cum laude.
Zane Allen Perico, summa cum laude.
Alexis Lee Pomponio, summa cum laude.
Luke Nathaniel Roman, summa cum laude.
Julia Christine Sansotera, summa cum laude, outstanding Spanish student.
Matthew Thomas Scoleri, summa cum laude.
Ronald Christopher Sinkovic, Jr., summa cum laude.
Christopher Stephen Smallwood, summa cum laude.
Jenna Nicole Vrabel, summa cum laude.
Sydney Eileen Angelo, magna cum laude.
Colin Scott Burdett, magna cum laude.
Nathan Alexander Christie, magna cum laude.
Michael James Crawford, magna cum laude.
Nicole Ann DeFabio, magna cum laude.
Abigail Fay, magna cum laude.
Brooke Taylor Gerst, magna cum laude.
Allison Ann Gonda, magna cum laude.
Amna Sophia Khan, magna cum laude.
Oliver Anthony Kovas, magna cum laude.
Riley Alexa Newton, magna cum laude.
Ryan James Petro, magna cum laude.
Nicholas Stephen Plant, magna cum laude.
Christopher Allen Roman Jr., magna cum laude.
Edwin Allen Russo, magna cum laude.
Nicholas Allen Wogan, magna cum laude.
Jacob David Yurchison, magna cum laude.
Lena Nader Atway, cum laude.
Hannah Julia Bricker, cum laude.
Landon Robert Beidelshees, cum laude.
Gianna Elizabeth DeLucia, cum laude.
Drew Anthony Carosi, cum laude.
Sarah Marie Grohovsky, cum laude, outstanding Spanish student.
Catherine Elizabeth Esper, cum laude, outstanding English student.
Jacob Christian Johnson, cum laude.
Jaden Adil Jeffer, cum laude.
Jacqueline Mackenzie Kinnick, cum laude.
Drew Michael Marzich, cum laude.
Phoebe Ann Masters, cum laude.
Deanna Nicole Mike, cum laude.
Taylor Lane Morgan, cum laude.
Connor Matthew Mullachek, cum laude.
Alexandra Ann Quirk, cum laude.
Jeffrey Joseph Roche, cum laude.
Caden Brittany Svetkov, cum laude, outstanding German student.
Abigail Deanna Vernon, cum laude.
Avery Maximus Amedia.
Fatima Amin.
Trey Alexander Angelo.
Helena Mariana Antalosi.
Soha Salim Bajwa.
Brock Thomas Baker.
Mario Joseph Battaglia.
Isabella Irene Bellino.
Elise Jeanette Bashera.
Nathan Charles Bins Castronova.
Richard Bryson Blair II.
Laura Elizabeth Breedlove.
Nicholas Allen Bowen.
Abigail Ann Brunk.
Michaela Ray Brown.
Toby James Charneski.
Paul Christopher Campbell. Connor Dominic Cernecka.
Cassandra Lee Crawford.
Paige Elizabeth Christman.
Virginia Grace Cummings.
Brianna Elizabeth Coral.
Carly Ann Dapolito.
Scott Frederick Crawford.
Isabella Rose DeBar.
Connor Michael Daggett.
Christopher Joseph DiDonato.
Anthony Scott DeBonis.
Luke Joseph Dietz.
Brooke Ann Demitovich.
Lexa Marie Dentino.
Alyssa Marie Dill.
Lori Lynn Franklin.
Nicolette Demi Duco.
Dominic James Files.
Julia Grace Fisher.
Isabella Annalee Escobar.
Isabella Marlene Fritz.
Joseph Michael Fusco.
Sabrina Joy Goodrich.
Connor Ollie Grant.
Teresa Noel Gonda.
Dylan Awesome Grant.
Nathan Robert Ghosty, outstanding art student.
Brianna Ashley Haddon, outstanding choral music student.
Jake Adam Gerdick.
Trent Allen Harnischfeger.
Joshua Nathan Greenbaum.
Matthew Lee Hartman.
Isabella Katarina Hanley.
Riley Ann Hively.
Carlos Andres Harper.
Connor Jacob Homrehausen.
Ruben Hernandez.
Jack Dylan Harina.
Santiago Hernandez.
Ian Andrew Hull.
Ryan Andrew Hively.
Jacqueline Nicole Jackson.
Abby Catherine Householder. Donovan Michael Giovanni.
Connor David Julian.
Elizabeth Joy Jenkins.
Olivia Grace Cabezzo.
Samantha Michelle Johnson.
Elizabeth Ann Keller.
Joshua Lance Giuliano.
Elizabeth Denise Kennedy.
Hope Irene Karish.
Sarah Leanna Klepek.
Paige Nicole Keller.
Madison Ray Klugart.
Abigail Grace King.
Ava Elise Kuzma.
Ryan Gerald Klicka.
Olivia Paige Leskovic.
Riley Elizabeth Kostelik.
Gwendolyn Marie Lalakis.
Jack Christopher Leeper.
Samantha Marie Lutton.
Griffin Michael Littler.
Evan Ray Madison.
Allie Elizabeth Malinky.
Jason Matthew Mays, Jr.
Zaim Nadim Malik.
Philip Charles McLaughlin.
Melissa Marie Marankovic.
Riley Ann Miller.
Bryn Catherine McCormick.
Tegan Riley Mitchell.
Peyton Mackenzie Myers.
Zane Christopher Muckleroy.
Zoe Rita Miller.
Bella Marie Neapolitan.
Sierra Jean Myers.
Dominic Bain Palma.
Joshua Ian Newman.
Joshua Thomas Palmer.
Jalen Noel Palmer.
Paulo Joseph Papalia.
Neil Bharat Patel.
Jacob Cortland Prout.
Zachary Robert Peservich.
Caden Irene Prima.
Cody John Piver.
Gino Garrett Rogers.
Benjamin Mitchell Pugh.
Summer Ray Samarone.
Grant Owen Reed.
Anthony J. Scarmack, outstanding theater student.
Sapphire Gianna Nicole Rushwin.
Adam Michael Schrock.
Ashley Joy Scalzo.
Andrew Joseph Seaman.
Samantha Lynn Sheckelhoff.
Autumn Marie Sebastian.
Allison Michelle Schrock.
Dylan Jack Shapiro.
Tessa Claire Searcy.
Harry Kalen Slavin.
Olivia Grace C.
Taylor Ray Stanslavsky.
Nathan Adams Shaw.
Tobias Michael Smith.
Dylan Ray Sturm.
Ariana Mackenzie Taylor.
Jacob William Wilkeson.
Alexandria Elizabeth Weiss.
Daniel Eric Wilson.
Allie Renee Wilson.
Maya Loren Woolley.
Emily Lynn Wilson.
Taylor Elizabeth Zetz.
Raymond Evangelos Zagorianis. And as is the tradition of Canfield High School, the senior class president will now be the last one in the class to officially receive the diploma. Nolan Robert Williard, summa cum laude, class president. At this time, if I could have the senior choir members, Grace Cummings, Catherine Esper, Brianna Haddon, Abby Householder, Julia Mosier, and Anthony Scarmack, along with Nolan. Sorry, Nolan, you're back up here. Please join us on stage as they're going to lead us in the singing of the alma mater, and we would hope that everyone in the audience, especially Canfield graduates, would help us with this. Graduates, could you please stand? I'm going to get out of here.
Okay, are we ready, y'all?
Go get 'em.
Praise we sing to Canfield High School, alma mater dear. Now to her we raise our voices in a mighty cheer. Lift the chorus, speed it onward, shout it to the sky. Hail to thee, our alma mater. Hail to Canfield High.
Okay, we are very close to the end of our ceremony. There's only one other thing to do, and that is the turning of the tassels. Nolan Williard will count to 3, and on the third count, we ask all of the graduates to turn your tassels from right to left, and then you know what to do.
Everyone ready? 1, 2, 3.
Please give them a round of applause, folks. Woo! Nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and enjoying this wonderful afternoon. Everybody is welcome at this time to come onto the field, greet your graduate, take as many pictures as you would like. Thank you again for attending. Have a great day.